There we go. All right, welcome to ChatN OUT. I'm here with. I want to make sure because your Facebook is there's a Mecca in there. Is that a name that needs to be said?
Yeah, I mean, I'm Andrew Davis.
All
That's
right.
how I go by, but you could just say Andrew Davis is fine too. That's who
Well, no,
I
I
am.
don't. I don't mind saying. I'm just making sure because I didn't know if that was just a term. Because sometimes people put stuff in their names, man. I overthink shit, dude. So I had to be asked. Had to be asked. So
It's
Andrew
a
Mecca
joke
Davis.
between me and my friends because I'm a huge anime mecha fan, and I
Oh,
just threw it in there because Facebook made me take out the Omega symbol. So
oh,
there you go.
you couldn't put the Omega symbol in there, huh?
They made me take it out.
Mother bitches.
It's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate because I think you deserve the mega symbol, and I can't find my smoker now. So of course, all the bullshit. It's always something, man. It's always something. So I just get to deal with this without smoking my precious nicotine the entire time. But I'll be good. I
If-
won't kill anybody. Cause
Hey, hey, it might even save your life.
well, no, I don't think I'm not worried. I do the nicotine vaporizer now. I've done that for a while, and I do barely any nicotine. It's just like, dude, I have an oral fixation, so instead of sucking a dick, I do the oral vaporizer, the smoker. But it looks like nobody ever looked cool doing that shit. Like I have no misconceptions about how stupid I fucking look. I look stupid. I look dumb, and there's probably, but I know I feel better. I know I can walk upstairs without going out of breath. I know I can get out of a sexual activity without losing all my breath. So I'm
Yeah, no, 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 no. I mean, I'm all for sucking things if that's your fancy. I'm not one to
wow,
tell anybody what they
wow.
can and can't do, you
That's
know?
that's the mecca out in you. Yeah, you're all for sucking things. Yeah.
So yeah, so it's just that's what I'm all for, and whatever floats your boat, everybody.
So that's going to be the podcast. We're all for sucking things today. Andrew Mecca Davis is going to tell us how much he enjoys putting things in his mouth and all in around this area, right around here. Uh,
Oh, it's this is all the moneymaker, all
for,
the
for
moneymaker right here.
for people listening on Podbean that get the unedited version of this shit, I was pointing to the mouthful region. If you don't understand what I'm talking about here. So, Andrew, I've been talking a big game about you because nobody heard the first interview. It was only live, and I
It
don't
was
think
epic. It was
I'm
my
not for
best
sure.
work ever.
I don't think Pat was a fan yet, man. So I'm not for sure anybody heard it. I have nobody to let me know that it was heard or so. Did it fall like a tree in the forest? Does anybody hear that shit?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm not that great because I've never been in a forest where a tree has fell, and I haven't been there, so I don't know if it makes a sound.
And I hadn't figured out the StreamYard shit yet, so I didn't even have a fucking. I don't even have a recording of it anywhere. So nobody hears my child screaming. Oh no, I do have it because it went on this. I could get it from Podbean, but man, it sounds like somebody's getting murderized back there.
I mean, it was
It's
epic though.
It
I mean,
was. It was a great conversation. It was my first ever interview, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, and I knew nothing about you. I was like, "Yeah, fuck it. You want to do an interview? Let's do it."
I
And
had
like,
nothing going on
yeah.
anyway. I'm like,
Oh
what am I gonna do? I got nothing going on.
shit! I forgot the theme song. My guy's still working on it, so I don't have it yet. But this is how it goes. I'm just gonna sing it for you with my beautiful singing voice, Andrew Mecca Davis. Have you ever heard that song? Let's give him something to talk about.
Yeah,
Let's give them something to talk about. So instead of that, because this is called ChatN OUT, let's give them something to chat about. ChatN OUT, ChatN OUT, ChatN OUT. My song guy will make that much better, but yeah, I had to cut together this other guy's interview. Really good movie. You need to see it. I like to get your take on it. The Hike is for free on Amazon Prime right now. If you pay for Prime, you can watch it.
yeah, I
And
definitely need to check
there's
that out.
there's some regular titties within the first 10 minutes of the movie, dude. And I was actually like, it harkens back to like the 80s summer camp type horror flicks. And like literally, I watched this grainy footage. I met him on the same site I met you on. They messaged on the same thread you messaged on. And they're like, hey, check out this movie. We'd love to do an interview. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll watch the movie. Click the movie on, and man, it's some grainy Blair Witch art house looking film fuck shit. Like I'm literally sitting there like, what did I get myself into? What dumbass shit? Who am I talking to on this fucking thread? You and these people? Fuck, I'm screwed.
Hey,
Joking.
hey, 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 hey! I'm an outstanding
You are. You're
model
an
class
outstanding, and
citizen.
it turns out they're also outstanding as well because this regular chick who's walking, she's a beautiful girl, but she looks like a woman I could hit on at a bar and succeed with, which is good. I'm not nothing taken away from her. Might take something away from me because I'm an ugly shit, but whatever. So she takes her shirt off and she has like some regular boobies, nothing big, nothing too small. I'm like, oh shit, what did they give this chick? Just that? What is she invested in this movie? How much does she like this movie that I'm? She's willing to take her fucking top off. So I finished the entire flick and I was very impressed. I was like, dude, you sold me. And they're wrestling inspired, dude. There's a wrestling match in the movie. In the forest, a wrestling match. You'll be watching this shit and you'll thank me later, man. We'll have the whole I'll bring you on to talk to you
Give me
about.
20 seconds. I gotta go tame my dog, everybody.
Oh my gosh, he's gotta go take his dog. I was in the middle of a beautiful
I'm
commentary.
still listening.
Oh, you're good. See, he's still listening, so we can't talk bad about him, guys. Don't talk about him. Don't say anything.
Hold
And
up. Hold up.
oh wait, while you're doing that, I can find my smoker. Shit, what did I do with that shit?
Sorry about that, everybody.
No, take your time. I'm finding my
Apparently, my
smoker.
dog does not know how to behave.
No, it's whatever, man.
Hopefully, she's calmer now. She's been
Motherfucker.
given a firm lecture. A firm lecture.
Firm lecture. Oh,
I want to make that crystal clear. A firm lecture. She will
oh,
be deducted a treat for sure tonight. And clearly, you know, she must have seen another dog, heard another dog, seen somebody she doesn't like, or somebody she likes. I'm not too sure which it is, but clearly that's what she does.
here I come. Glad I got the fuck up. Glad you had to take your dog.
I just needed to yell at her. That was all I needed to do.
Well, no, glad you yelled at your dog. I'm happy that your dog needed to be yelled at because I found my smoker, which was out in the other room. And when I walked out in the other room, I remembered I left a cup of coffee boiling on the stove, and it boiled to nothing while we were sitting here getting set up and doing all the bullshit. So, you saved the day. You and your dog being yelled at saved the day. Thank you very much, sir.
It's what I do. I'm a hero.
Yeah, well, you're Mecca, bro.
It's kind of like I went on speed dating and I got a message like a week and a half ago saying they need more men. So I walk up and speed dating. I'm like, I don't even live in D.C. They just needed a calling and I stepped up. I'm a hero.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Now, what have you been? Have you been on speed dating before?
I went on virtual speed dating like 18 months ago before this last event. And then I just said, fuck it. I'm going to go for it and see what happens. And yeah, I had a good time, but I was also half drunk 'cause it was Thursday and I drink on Thursdays. So it was fun. I didn't give a shit. I went on
Thursday's
speed
my
dating.
drinking day.
Yeah. I'm not letting speed dating interrupt that.
Do you swipe right?
Oh, I mean, it was like all on Zoom. It was whatever. And I
Oh, no,
just
I'm asking you if you swipe right on Tinder. Do you Tinder date? Do the Tinder?
Yeah, no, I'm not like a Tinder guy. I tried Tinder. I find it just like a bunch of artificial whatever.
All
And
right.
I'm a high class man, if you will. So Tinder is bottom of the barrel for me.
Hey, bro. Let me tell you my mode for success on Tinder. Because I've done Tinder. Maybe I am the bottom of the barrel. I don't give a shit. I am the lion that preys on the weak gazelle. If you were fucking straggling around that fucking watering hole, you're dead, motherfucker. Dead. I got you. I got you.
It's not even that. I'm not like Tinder. It's just so weird, and I'd rather like go on Match.com at that point
All right.
because, or like go on Bumble because
Let me,
Bumble's great. Bumble is the girl basically solicits the guy, so
yeah.
I get to be lazy. I get to be like, yo, this is what I get to do, and you say yes. I
Oh
kind of
shit.
like that.
I gotta pull this. We're getting some comments over here. Can you see comments and shit, dude?
Oh yeah, yeah, I could see some comments.
Smiles. Oh, nice. Marshall Lewis starts getting hyper, searching like a. Oh, is he talking about your dog?
Oh, I have no idea.
Walks in, smoke, makes the smoke. Oh no, I'll check those out later. I'm sorry. I can't. I don't have like my glasses. Even though I have them, they don't do shit. They don't do nothing. So I just have to stare one eye at the screen. Someday I'll get a fucking Jamie like Joe Rogan, and all my shit will be perfect, dude.
See, I don't even need a Jamie. See, like I don't read any of my comments when I'm streaming because in my whole theory and people who stream disagree with me, and I'm like, you guys get to watch. You're not part of the interview. The comments are not part of the interview for me. The interview is between me and my guest, and that's it. Joe Rogan doesn't read comments. I don't read comments. You don't have a say in my fucking interview when I'm interviewing somebody. If you're not being interviewed, you don't have a say. And if you feel like you do have a say, well, maybe you got to prove that you belong. You know,
You're exactly. I'll give you that. You're exactly right, dude. You are correct. I shouldn't have. And that's not me being a simp little bitch or anything. I'm
no,
literally. I'm. When you said it, like, yeah, you're right. Like, but I, you know,
it's the whole thing. I mean, I just funded on Kickstarter, and one of the things is that you got to bring some to the table this year in my show. You're either paying me to be on my show, or I find your project interesting, or you bring viewers in, or you bring clout. And
right,
if you don't bring any of that, then why should you be on my show? I happen to get high end people on my show who work for major companies and actually have huge followings. So
right,
why am I going to put, somebody who's, coming out of the barrel is a new comic creator or a new cosplayer that doesn't have talent or doesn't have something unique to them on my show and put you next to a superstar? Like this is just business now. And also, I'm getting sick and tired. And sorry for venting everybody, but I'm
no,
getting
no,
sick
take it
and
out.
tired of the fucking takers. If you come to me and say, I want to be on your show because I got a Kickstarter going on, yet the last time you were on my show, you weren't that good as a guest. And then secondly, you didn't fucking share it out and you only come when you need me for use. Well, fuck you. You
Right,
know, this game has now changed and that's where I'm at now. And it's
and dude,
my fucking show.
you're exactly right, man. Because I was thinking about, the last time we talked on Saturday night, that was just a bullshit talking show. And I was even thinking, like, hey, when I do my ChatN OUT shows where I don't want other people to be involved, because this isn't where I want other people like calling in and checking. This is my time, motherfucker. I'm the star of this show with you. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and it's the
Shit,
idea that
suck with my directions.
but it's this idea that I'm gonna share this out. When I'm a guest on people's shows, I share shit out. I bring knowledge. I actually talk. And like that's the thing is that like what when I come onto your show, I have an obligation, whether you tell me or not, to either inspire knowledge, be entertaining, share it out, try to bring new followers to you. Obviously, I'm using it as a media piece to me, and I got no problem if people hate what I say. I'm at the stage where, you know what is, this is how the direction of my show's going. And it's great
Right.
because it's my show. And I get comments who saying, don't go on this person's show, don't do that. And I'm like, I'm going to interview whoever I want, when I want, how I want. And I don't care about your political affiliations, your comic affiliations, your business affiliations, because it's, again, I have none of that. Nobody knows my true politics or my beliefs. And
Right.
this is where I'm at, and I'm going to do whatever I want because I make determinations. Because every person has a number and a value that they bring to my show. And if you don't see that, that's a you problem, not a me problem. Because I made a call on who's
I
valuable and who's not.
I agree, man. I agree completely. And and I've decided like this show where I interview people like you or other content creators, like Me and you, I mean, you like comics, but you're on a, at least from what I understand, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you like comics generally, you enjoy comics, but you're also into comics on the financial end.
Yeah,
So
I'm into money in general, where I
fuck
am.
money, man. That's I don't like money. Money's
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah. What a foreign
That's what
concept,
that's
right?
why this shit costs me money every month, and I don't care. It's all good.
Hey! If you have a business, this is a business expense. I have a StreamYard account that I pay for. I pay for it on a yearly basis.
Me
It is a
too.
business expense, and it's cheap. I mean, I pay for the it's 240, right, for you,
Hmm.
and because I don't have the premium StreamYard account, because I don't need it. You
Hmm.
know, I usually have one or two people in my streams on the most for an interview. Every once in a while, I'll have six or seven in. But
Right.
I don't need to have 12 people in a stream.
I,
I don't need to stream for like 9 hours either.
right, and I agree. I don't need to stream that long, and I don't want to do interviews. Like I definitely think, unless the guests have more than one person, you having more than one person doing the interviewing is dumb. Unless we're like sitting down, and you're the Andy Richter to my Conan O'Brien or some shit like that. You
Or
know?
what happens with me is that I'll interview a creative team, for instance. So I'll have the writer and the artist on at the same time, and
Exactly.
that's a little bit different because we're talking about the same project. But now you can ask us, saying, "Hey, so and so, you wrote the book, and then how'd you meet your artist, and then what was it that like?" And then the artist designed the character, and then the artist had input.
All right. And
That's
it's just
different.
one. There can only be like when it comes to it, like there can only be one Larry King. I'm just, I spouted examples because just to alliterate my point, there
Yeah,
can
yeah.
only be one Larry King in a show, and if there is somebody else, that person has to sit second banana, and it has to be like I don't want to fill in my fucking picture with like 4 or 5 boxes unless it's all creators talking and just me. The person that I work with, they need to be right here with, so it's not a whole nother setup. Like that's just the way if you're gonna add a second person.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, I don't mind interviewing a creative team, but I don't want to co-host. I
And,
don't. It doesn't work for me.
right.
I
And
don't.
your get or you as an interviewer have to bring something more to the table than just like right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I literally
So
listened to a podcast the other day, and it was multiple people on the interview side, and those people were just sitting there being silent. Like I literally thought it didn't have any video content, but people just weren't moving.
yeah,
Like
no,
you gotta.
it's weird. I just did a podcast consulting and teaching somebody about this, and podcasting is a whole, and live streams are a whole different ball game. And you gotta be. It's okay. Like I'm not moving all that much, but I'm talking. And you could see movement. But like I've watched poor live streams, and man, if you're not exciting, you're not energetic. Like I've had guests, and I'm like, I'm pulling teeth here.
What do
I'm
you think
pulling
that's
teeth.
about, bro?
That's their problem.
No, no, I'm just saying this. This is a choice. Like it is. I mean, I have a bad hairline. Don't get me wrong, dude. My head is shaved usually, but
I
then
wasn't talking about your hair. I was talking about podcasting.
oh, I was talking about this right here. That's the whole point of that, dude. That's why I do it like this because that gives me views. People's like, oh, what's this dumb old man talking? If you saw your grandfather on YouTube, you'd be like, oh shit, granddad, pretty impressive.
Oh shit, I missed that completely.
Yeah, man, we weren't talking about you for 5 fucking seconds, Becca. No, I'm joking. I'm joking, man.
Wow, I'm just gonna leave now. It's shame. And
Well,
I'm gonna
and the only reason I said anything is because I made this motion, and you said, so "What'd you say? I don't care about that." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's not for you."
wow, I just completely just missed that. Like
That's a dynamic duo right there, people. You just caught magic in the making right there. That's a team.
clearly I missed that. So
Yeah, no, and we're working. I'm way back here, and we're working off grainy shit, and I'm working off my phone because for some reason I have to pay somebody to get StreamYard working on my computer. So not taking it.
I
It's probably not StreamYard's problem. It's probably my dumbass. Again, grandfather, old man. That's what I lean into. So you have to forgive
usually
me.
it happens. I'm not technology astute. I am technology broken in a lot of ways. There's a reason why I pay for StreamYard, right? I could set up OBS and I can basically create a whole live stream
It's a
system.
big pain in the ass, dude. it's I pay for convenience, man. StreamYard. It's
That's what it is
convenient.
for me. That's
I tried
exactly what it is.
Restream. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I moved to StreamYard because I heard good things and I wanted like I can add in backgrounds. Like I have like I'd like to add in like a logo or something behind me. I got a green screen. Like I like it to be something other than green.
Yeah, no, Streamer, you could do a lot of cool stuff. They have a like virtual green screen thing that you could put your logo in the back, and like they got everything. They have all these summits. It's a really great product.
Well, teach me how to do it, bro. Fuck the interview. Let's we got a fucking podcast right
So
here.
so right now, I'm gonna teach. I'm gonna teach. This is gonna be fun. So you
Let's
can
do it.
go to cam and mic settings,
Uh,
and I don't know if I broke something, and hopefully this will be really cool. So you could go to cam and mic settings, and then if you go to virtual backgrounds, you could actually click on virtual backgrounds, and all of a sudden you could click on that, and then it'll pop up if you got a green screen. So that's just one of those things that you can do, and yeah, so that's kind of the coolest thing that you can do on this, and I'm
eh,
not too sure what's going on. So
oh no, you figured it out, man. You just didn't move. It clicked it off when I picked it up to go into, I was gonna listen and do what I was supposed to here. But then of course I'm like, oh, this is perfect. This shows how fucking stupid I am. But it was actually I clicked it on my holder and that's what happened, man. So teach away, teach. I'm just a dumbass student.
So all you have to do is just listen. So you're not gonna do anything. So if you go into cam and mic on your settings, if you go to virtual background, you can basically drop whatever background you have, and you pick that color, and then there's a bunch of virtual backgrounds that StreamYard has in it that work on a bunch of things. So that's kind of the quick way how to do it. Um, but I'll teach you after. I'll teach you after
No,
how to do
fuck,
everything.
fuck your stupid interview. That's what I want to learn about now, man. No, I'm joking, dude. Oh, let me get this back in without clicking you off. I think you're back. We good? Everything okay?
Yeah. So this is completely because this is a far cry from comics. Far
Fuck
cry.
comic books, man. That's stupid. This isn't my nerding out show. I do that other days. This is ChatN OUT. We can talk about whatever we want to, man. We
No,
can.
no, no, no. I'm an open book, and we can talk about whatever we want. We can talk about
Yep.
just. I mean, I love Streamyard. I think Streamyard is
No, I
an
like
amazing
StreamYard too.
platform.
I'm definitely happy with it so far. This is not me being indignant about StreamYard at all either, dude. Like I like it. And once I figure it out, I think it's gonna work out great. OBS was super difficult, but I had a background on my green screen and all that shit going. But it was just holy fuck.
Yeah, you know what it is for me?
Yeah.
It's the idea that it's just convenience because I this is what's going to happen. Somebody's going to set up OBS for me. They're going to teach me how to do it, and there's going to be a problem. Then I'm going to have a guest come on, and
Yep.
then it's going to be messed up. I'm not going to know how to fix it, and there you go. Now with StreamYard, all I have to do is send them a link. Be like, hey, this is what I do. Here's a
Yep.
link. You, the guest, don't need anything on your end, minus a web browser.
He said you the guest don't need anything minus a web browser, and then he paused.
Am I here?
Ah, here you are now. Here you again. You paused for a second.
So what I was saying, you don't need anything beyond that, just a web browser for your guest,
Yep.
and then they have it. And then StreamYard gives a bunch of stuff. Like you could put background music in it. They just added that you could do PowerPoints in StreamYard now, which is awesome. So you can upload a PowerPoint and then do a presentation virtual in StreamYard, which is exactly what I want to do because I present anime panels, and now I can go to a con and say, look, I could do this virtual on StreamYard. If you guys have StreamYard, you could give me my panels, make me a host, and I could give a whole lecture on
Right.
topics. And better yet, I'm building on an entire comic book investing class. And so, what if I'm to do a lecture every single week in a private Facebook group that I could connect to StreamYard? They just solved my problem. It's
Right.
great. I mean, I legit they can make me money now, and
I
it's
don't.
awesome.
My own. I think I heard that it's not called PowerPoint anymore. I'm not for sure. I don't know what it's called, but I just heard calling something PowerPoint is expressing how old you are. Like
Oh,
I think it's
I
called
don't
like
know.
Zoom Jet. Like when you use Zoom, it's called like Zoom or Zoom Deck. I'm not for sure. I don't know. I just saw. I
Oh,
think
I
I saw
mean,
a meme or one of those pictures that said when you call something a PowerPoint, and it shows your age and everybody laughs at you.
oh, I have no idea. I don't give a shit what people laugh at me because this is my solution. Laugh away. I have money. Fuck you. That's my solution. Like you can laugh at me all you want.
Right.
Because what I find is two things in life are always certain. People who laugh at other people, you know, and those people have money or are successful. Well, the people who are laughing are not where the people who they're laughing at are most of the time.
Well, if you get anybody that likes laughing at people, just send them my way, dude. I'll take those laughing at me views. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's the thing either. I have a troll. He gets me views. I don't care. Troll me away, man. You're
All the way,
getting me
bro.
attention. And I'm gonna troll him back, and I'm gonna see what he's gonna do. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, man, you gave me a hard time saying why would anybody want to be paid to be on your show?" And so he's now running a fucking Indiegogo, and I'm just like, "Dude, every fucking post you put up, bro, you can come on for 25 bucks. I'm waiting for your 25 bucks. Can't wait to get you on. I'm gonna talk about anything you want on my show. 25 bucks, Nick. Want on, man?" And I'm just gonna troll him as much as he trolled me during my entire campaign. Because
Right,
if you open the door for this and I'm going to advertise on his campaign without him having the ability to stop me. And I'm going to enjoy the fuck out of trolling him.
right. And hey, yeah, this if you like, I believe in bullying and trolling only if you're bullying or trolling someone about something they choose. Like, you want to fuck with me about my Kickstarter? Okay, I chose to do a Kickstarter. You want to fuck with me about my bald spot on my head? I chose to cut this out at the moment. I get that. I understand, but you want to fuck with me about something that I didn't choose? I'm not for that. And
So for me, I like to make fun of my disability. I don't really care if you call me a cripple, handicap. Doesn't really bother me all that much, but somebody else might bother. So I'm not going to go open up with somebody's disability and
right,
attack them on a
right,
personal level. Now, people can agree, disagree with that. Words really don't affect me all that much. You know, I get drunk on a lot of people's podcasts and make an ass out of myself. The craziest thing is that the next day my views go up on my other show because then I speak intelligently about another topic. People are like, "You're
right.
a fucking dumbass over here and off the rails over here. What do you say on your show?" And they're like, "Oh shit, you're
Yeah.
smarter than everybody else in the room." Like,
Are you getting
what the
drunk
fuck?
right now, man? Because I'm recording this.
Nah.
I could get a bunch of TikToks if you're gonna act great, man. I mean, shit.
No, 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 no. I actually have an interview tonight at 7 o'clock, so I have to behave. And then at 8 o'clock, I'm gonna get fucked up and watch a boatload of anime.
Say, man. And, all right, you. I just need to schedule a time with you where you're okay to get drunk, just to get you. I mean, that's just content for my TikToks, dude. And I gotta come out with more original content. I do put a lot of original content out there, but I build a lot of my following off of like Saturday Night Live and '90s type shit. So adding any kind of extra content is good. And you're too young for '90s type shit.
Hey, 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 hey! I love the '90s. You know, I grew up on some Backstreet and Spice Girls. Oof, Baby
Right, right.
Spice. Oh, Baby Spice is
Well,
smoking hot. She's still hot. Like, just
speaking of,
one night
did
in
you watch
Paris.
any?
Me and
Go ahead.
Baby.
Wait, you go
That's all I'm gonna
ahead, man.
say.
My bad.
Me and Baby Spice one night in Paris. The way she looks now, oh, I'm done. I could die a happy man.
And she has too many. You need Baby Spice retro back in the day. Baby Spice today has way too much knowledge and would blow your fucking mind. You would not be able to handle that.
Oh my god, it would probably make it so much better. Just
Yeah, it
so much
would, but
better.
you're not ready for that. You ain't ready for that, bro.
I mean, Sporty Spice is good too. I mean,
What's
I'll take Sporty Spice. I'll take Posh Spice. I'll take
now? This might get me canceled, but did Sporty Spice like is she a lesbian now? Does she
no,
enjoy?
no. I think Sporty Spice is with David Beckham or like a
No,
soccer
no.
player.
Posh Spice is
Oh,
with David Beckham.
oh, 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 my
That's what
bad.
Sporty Spice was the one that was all wearing track pants and like kind of looked like a tomboy. I'm just
Sporty, no,
asking.
no, 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 no. Sporty Spice is not a lesbian. Here's why. Mel B had a girlfriend. Sporty Spice never had a girlfriend.
Right.
I
I
know
was
way
just
too
yeah.
much
That's what
about
I was
this.
wondering if they made her act like that to like okay, you're gonna play like the tomboy, and she's like, Oh, like I'm sure Baby Spice wasn't really a baby. I mean, let's be honest. Baby Spice, I wear nighties in public. Like, how many times do you
So,
think she complained? Like, I cannot wait to not have to wear lingerie in public ever again.
oh, she probably loved it, but that's not the point.
In your mind, she loved it. In your fucking one night in Paris, she enjoyed that fucking shit.
Hey, 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 hey! I learned from the best. Some X-Pac. He spent one night in China for sure.
He did. He did, and I don't. I did watch one night in China. I watched China's porno DVDs just for the kind of quiche or niche factor, whatever. Like, oh, I'm gonna watch.
So just for the record, it was research on my end. I just want to make it clear. It
And
was research completely.
you're fucking like my stepson won't. He was like, I don't. He's like, because I mess with him every time he goes to the bathroom, like 15 minutes. I'm like, Pacino in there, jack-a-lacking around. He's like, no, I'm going poop, man. I'm taking a shit. I'm like, yeah, dude. No, no, you must shit out your insides every day. Then I was like,
Hey,
dude,
hey.
everybody does it. I'm just giving you grief, man. Like once you get over it, like if I would have known back then, like fucking lean into it. Like being a 300-pound seventh grader when people are like, what are you going to do? Sit on me? Yeah, I am, motherfucker. What are you going to do about that? Can you deadlift 300 pounds off your fucking body, you muscular looking little bitch?
See, oh man, I hate high school. I hated middle school. I hate everybody in that place except my friends. And even some of my friends who are now ex-friends, I hate them too. So that place is
Fuck
a
you
fucking
guys.
hellhole.
From Mecca, he says, fuck you guys. And I got his back. We'll
I,
come and fuck you up.
I only hang out with two people from high school, and they're my two
Right?
best friends or like my inner circle, and I don't need the rest of them because nobody. My fucking high school is full of arrogant assholes, and the only
Right.
thing is like I want to do and be like, "What up, bitches? What have you done lately?"
Right.
And great, you sell insurance. Who cares? I get to speak to people who write comic books and ran DC Comics for 12 years. Who's really getting shit done?
And you get to speak to a lot of fucking wrestlers too, right?
I do. I do. It's great. I mean, I'm having a fucking blast doing this shit.
Who do you think? Who would you say is the biggest wrestler you talk like the most famous person that you've spoken to and like
Um,
not in person, but whether it's through podcasts or in
so,
person or just
there's probably four that are tied, and the reason why I say it is that Chris Daniels, the Fallen Angel Chris Daniels, who's the head in relations of AEW,
yeah,
Kazarian, who is a friend of Chris Daniels and is in AEW, and they were in Impact Wrestling and a variety of stuff. Kazarian trained with John Cena, back in the day in like the early 2000s. Um, then I would make the argument Tegan Knox, also known as Nixon Noel, who was in WWE and NXT until she was released. She's pretty big, and a big deal. And then you had Anthony Green, who was also in WWE. And he got released, and he's really big. So those four are massive. Anthony Green's been on AEW a bunch of times, and he's really big on the indies. And then Chris Daniels and Kazarian, obviously, they're in AEW.
yeah. I
And
know Kazarian. I've heard of Kazarian and Chris Daniels. The last two are newer WWE NXT type people, right? Because I know I
yeah,
steer away from that shit. I'm old, dude.
Tegan's been around for a while. Or Nixon and Wells been around for like 10 years. But she had some great matches in WWE.
Well,
Um,
let me ask you this because I've asked. I only know like the last dude I interviewed, Vinny Vineyard. He knows some wrestling people, but this is my idea, and if somebody out there steals it, because I'm just an idea guy, dude. I'm not, as you know, we're both disabled. I don't put it out there as much, just
I don't
because
put
I
it
don't.
out there either all that much because I'm not mentally disabled, and most of my
No,
world
and I
is
don't. From right here, dude, I look pretty fucking healthy, except for this hairline right now. I look pretty fucking healthy, dude. So I mean, but my idea is because me, at least me, I came up with like old school Dallas Sportatorium type wrestling. Like you got up on the top ropes, it's the referees. You're gonna get in trouble, maybe even disqualified. If you hold if you put in a submission, you're done. not too much of this newer bullshit, which is I'm not taking away from their athletic motherfuckers, but I would love to see a real dude. Until Hulk Hogan came around, not everybody was super muscle. Maybe Ventura and who else? A couple other people were muscular, but not every. There was Arn Andersons and fucking Big John Studs and like regular looking dudes, and it was regular ass matches. So I would like to put together a YouTube show, and it's always good when you're talking to somebody and they just walk off from you guys. That's when
I
your
was
idea is
just I
done.
was just shutting my door.
I'm
Sorry.
fucking with you, man. No, I'm fucking with you. But my idea is putting an old school YouTube type wrestling show on YouTube, like maybe studio type
So
wrestling.
this was my concept is that I wanted to build out a wrestling show of a cast of characters that was sort of set in the 80s, and it was going to be called 80s retro wrestling, and put it out on Netflix. And
Right.
so what you're doing is that you're building an entire thing, and it's all pre-taped, and you're building like 10, 20 episodes at a time.
Right.
And you now have all these characters that are sort of in the 80s. Maybe you pull back a little bit of the stereotyping, but since you have 20 episodes that are pre-recorded, you could actually dictate a real storyline and build it
Yeah.
out, and have not necessarily a cinematic feel to it, but actually sort of have a real plot line, because you're writing it almost like a
Oh, yeah.
comic book.
Have it
And
all play out in wrestling fashion. Like
it
not.
or is that
I'm sorry.
no, 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 you were onto something.
Well, no, I'm saying have it play out in wrestling fashion, not like a cinematic type. Okay, this is scene one. This is scene two. Like, okay, you get your announcer saying, okay, this is what's been going on. This is what's happening. Maybe you get a little bit of a scene like you would, and then it goes to the match, and maybe a promo, then a match, about it, and then figuring out, and then maybe, even a promo during the match. I thrive on '80s wrestling, dude. Like,
Because
I
because
kind of see where you're going.
because one of the things that I want to do is that I want to have a real storyline. And what happens is that if you do 20 episodes at a time, you could have multiple storylines go on, and then you can go, and let's say that you got your top two guys going at it, right?
Hmm.
Then all of a sudden you could have that for 5 episodes. Somebody then gets kicked out of it, and then they get into another feud, and then you could just move people around, but you're never ever hurting somebody in the
Right.
process, and you're never hurting your wrestlers. And all of a sudden, you now have a real storyline, and you're treating it almost every episode as an issue, almost like a comic book.
But seeing
And
it, I think your only problem in your idea is the adult situation because there's not too many of me and you left anymore. There's some. There's a good enough demographic, but I'm not sure because it just doesn't fly sometimes, and that's
so,
why I was talking to my idea was talking about like focused on kids, and it'd be to like the kids of people like me and you.
oh, no, 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 no. My whole thing is that to put it on Netflix.
I
That's
know.
because Netflix is a big platform.
Well,
Netflix has
fuck yeah.
120 million plus subscribers, and let's make this thing PG-13. Let's make it PG-11 for all I
Right.
care. You don't need to and now you have really fun storylines, and you have it clear who the good guy is, who the bad guy is, and you're now actually putting out a really cool product, and you're making it massively accessible, and
I
that's where the real money is.
I think where wrestling has lost out on is that they don't cater to our demographic anymore. Like me and you fell in love, and yeah, it was awesome having a WWF thing that was like, ooh, this is for kids. This is awesome. This is that was great, but it was really seeing, the blood and the stuff that my dad was going to go see at the Sportatorium that maybe you just see locally. The local type TV, the cable type shows, the and of course I can't think of the fucking name, the territory wrestling. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It
So
kind of it catered to
for
both
for for
worlds.
me, I'm a big indie guy.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I got into, but I'm taking a break because I'm taking a little bit of a break from wrestling in general, is I got really into deathmatch wrestling. So
Yeah.
deathmatch wrestling is chairs, barbed wire baseball bats, light tubes, panes of glass.
Yeah.
Lemon juice, guys. Okay,
Yeah,
that
David
that
Arquette is not a fan of this shit, guy. I mean, I don't know much about it, but I know David Arquette is against it. I do know a little bit about it, man, and I do know David Arquette got his ass kicked by what's that guy's name that kicked his ass?
oh man, Billy Corgan, maybe.
No, no, it's the is it Billy Corgan? I don't know. It was they just did a Dark Side of the Ring about him and Arquette, and
Oh, David Arquette was like the WCW champ.
yeah, he got his ass kicked in some death match. This might have been during your break or whatever, but he got his ass kicked in some death match wrestling. The dude that does the pizza cutter shit.
Oh, pizza cutter. Homicide.
Uh, I think it's things like
Oh,
Murder Kill
Nick
Gang.
Gage. Nick Gage.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, thank you. Somebody's fucking smarter than me because I'm dumb.
No, no,
I
no, no, no. It took me a while to figure out who like
uh,
pizza guy was.
yeah. See, the guy just know that he fucked up. He uses the pizza cutter and just to like get the crowd going, and he actually cut David Larroquette with or David or what's his fucking name, Eric or whatever.
Arquette. Yeah.
With that dumb fuck, he actually cut him like in the face with a pizza cutter. And so now Arquette is all bitching about it and blah blah blah. Like,
My whole thing is that Nick Gage is okay, but I'm not a huge Nick Gage fan. Like I liked Nick Gage in the beginning,
yeah,
but my problem with Nick Gage is that like it got old because Nick fucking Gage, and I'm like, well, Nick Gage, you're a decent wrestler, you're entertaining, but your story shit isn't really that great.
right. Can you
After
give us something else?
you gotta go back to the like bored for lack of a better word. And then also like Nick Gage has made statements politically, and I'm like, I don't want politics in my wrestling, man.
Yeah, I
Like
don't know anything about his politics. I just know basically I know the dark side of the ring about him. That's pretty much all I knew some of what he did. Like I saw some YouTube shit of what he did, but that's not really my
he's not a John Wayne Murdoch. He's not an Akira. He's not a Matt Tremont. And my whole problem is that like I don't view Nick Gage as a good deathmatch wrestler. I don't. I view a
uh,
guy like Matt Tremont, Akira, John Wayne Murdoch, Reed Bentley, you know, a guy like Satu Jin is good at deathmatch wrestling, or Ruben
right.
Steele. Like these people are like the fucking culture of it, or a Masada. And that's my fucking, or Brandon Kirk is a good example. Like the Nick Gage, like I don't buy in. I don't think you're a good deathmatch wrestler. And people can shit on me for Nick Gage and saying this, but
No.
like I don't think he's the best. I don't think he's all even great. Like I think he's average at best, and I think there's a lot of hype for him, and
Uh,
it's just one of those things where it's overhyped.
can I be honest with you? What I mean, kind of like just off of first impressions of him, just of what because I have basic knowledge of him. Like I said, real basic knowledge of him. If I was to put him in a box, I would equate him to the hillbilly mankind kind of trailer park mankind type. That's when he just took it a step further. He's not really into the art of because I think again, like I mean, I at least from what I understand about deathmatch wrestling, it's kind of like wrestling. It tries to bring more reality into it. Like you said, panes of glass. Like it's not all about like, you're. It's not about just like pain for pain.
I'll give you an example of how real deathmatch wrestling is. So I have a friend called Gary J. Does deathmatch wrestling. He's a great wrestler. He chops one of the hardest chops in the industry is what he's known for.
Right.
Like when he chops you in the chest, it fucking hurts. That's what he's known for. But you know what you're getting into the ring when you're wrestling Gary J. And if
Right.
you have a match with Gary J, it's a very cool thing. So what happens is that they're wrestling outside in the back of a pawn shop in Florida because it's a cool setting. And now what's going on is Gary J and I think Shane Mercer are wrestling, and they're wrestling throughout the crowd. And you have the like ring announcer saying, "Move, everybody!" Like if they're coming at you, and that is real. And like
Right.
I was speaking to Gary about it because he was on my show. I'm like, oh yeah, you scared legitly Larry Legend. Like you legitly scared the shit out of Larry Legend because I don't think people realized that they wrestled all throughout the crowd, and it was a
Right.
deathmatch wrestling
Right.
match between Shane and Gary J, and it was a brutal. And I don't think people were expecting it, and that's what deathmatch wrestling is. And I think that
Right.
that's a problem that people don't get.
Fucking it all really good wrestling is like a fucking lethal ballet. You're putting your body in situations you shouldn't. You're doing things that could hurt you.
Yeah, and also with deathmatch wrestling is that if I have a barbed wire table and I suplex you through the barbed wire table, and I'm in the barbed wire and you're in the barbed wire, it's hurting us both. It might hurt you more. The move
Right.
might be granted you some pain more, but it's still hurting me. And
Mm.
so deathmatch wrestling has definitely, I'm going to hurt you 80%, but I'm taking a 20% bump too.
Right. Well, I mean, and that's kind of with all wrestling. You're still looking out for the other guy. Like you don't want you know
Maybe.
you want it to look like maybe. Did you say maybe?
Yes.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. I get that.
You'd be surprised. There's a lot of fucked up shit that happens in a ring.
I don't
Purposely.
think there's too much that could surprise me. I know it has to be a lot of cooperation. If there's not cooperation, then these are real men that could fuck you up. Not they're not all the so-called Shawn Michaels. That's all bark and no bite. They're legit people that could fuck you up in that game.
Oh yeah, I mean, people can do a lot of fucking damage. I mean, Rey Mysterio did a 619 and injured somebody down in Mexico and killed him. And it wasn't
Ah,
Rey Mysterio's fault. Rey Mysterio wasn't necessarily liably responsible, but it was just a move where something just went wrong, and it wasn't necessarily his fault. But it's a pretty deadly sport, for lack of a better word here,
well,
and shit can go wrong.
anything is. I mean, I'm sure nobody in football wants to hurt another person playing, but well, maybe they do want to inflict pain, but they don't want to see the guy like out of the game for good most times. I
Yeah,
mean,
you don't want to go sack a quarterback and then have him permanently paralyzed.
yeah, what's that like Lawrence Taylor when he hit that QB and the leg snapped, like I heard that shit in my dreams. Like
Didn't like the bones stick out too?
yeah, 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 the bones stuck out and you could hear there's some slow-mo YouTubes out there that fucking and I'm the type of person that like I don't do well with gross shit, man. I'm like, no, okay, I'm good. Let's stop. Dead shit,
Yeah,
no shit,
yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah. I mean, but again, I'm sure Lawrence Taylor wasn't like, "Yes, I did it,"
Right,
and like,
exactly.
I'm pretty sure he was like, "Oh, fuck,"
Right,
and
right.
I'm pretty sure everybody else was like, "Oh, fuck."
And
That's what cocaine does.
exactly, exactly. And that's what and when you're that fucking bulked up, like you can, that's just it's a dangerous ballet. That's everything dangerous ballets. There's a you can end your career and really fucking hurt yourself when it comes to wrestling. And I mean,
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't wanna be a wrestler. I don't wanna be a
well,
manager. I'll own a promotion. I think it'll
well,
be fun,
well,
but I
I
don't wanna
almost
be in the ring.
I wish that was Dr. Death or no Dave Schultz would like back in the day would have told him like, hey man, it's as fake as we want it to be, and then he like knocks motherfucker on the ground like, you see, that wasn't fake, but I could not hit you. I decided that you get to
I
get your
mean,
ass.
it's the idea that GCW, they're doing some cool stuff, but what they are is a glorified theater company.
Right.
GCW, Game Changing Wrestling, is a theater company, not
Yep.
a wrestling company. ICW No Holds Bar is a wrestling company.
Yeah.
WWE is not a wrestling company, it's an entertainment company.
Yeah, yeah, fuck I haven't liked them since they stopped being the Federation.
But it was
It's smart.
brilliant.
I agree. I know. I agree. It's brilliant. He fucking changes the name of all the wrestlers into where it's something that he can own. I get it all. I'm not worthy, Vince McMahon. I understand. Wayne's World all day to that dude. But shit, man, it's just it kind
I
of all ruined it for me. I
I
mean,
don't know. I like it, and I understand what the WWE is. People are saying, "Oh, the WWE's getting sold to Disney." No, it's fucking not.
right.
It's worth too much money. We're like, they're gonna sell it for $4 billion to Disney. Their shares are worth over that money.
And really,
So
how much more can like you got enough on your plate, fucking Disney? Just
yeah. What does Disney own right now? It's a great
everything.
question.
It seems like fucking
What
everything,
what
dude.
what is it? It's Disney, Vitacon, Netflix. You know, there's a few other companies that own like everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you'd have to go to very deep into it. Like it's strange when you look into like financial stuff in any way. Like if you really go down the line and see who owns what, it's like, oh shit, I should buy some of that fucking company.
Cause I mean, I'll give an example. Do you know the company Blackstone?
No, sir, I'm not familiar.
So Blackstone is a big financial company. They own a comic book grading company called CGC. Who would have thought they would own that, you know? And so they don't own it all, but they own a majority stake. Now, a
Right,
majority stake is 51%. So they could own right up to 51% or 51% point zero one. They
right.
own the majority, you know? But all of a sudden, there's companies. I mean, I'm a huge Monster drinker, not product placement. Who owns a stake in Monster?
Oh, I
I,
thought you said monster drinker. I thought you said monster jerker.
that
Never
too,
mind.
but that's not the point.
Go ahead, go for it, man. Just walk past my stupidity. My bad. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, 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 no. I do that too all the time, but that's
That's
not
a
the point.
Coca-Cola product, right?
So they own 20% of this
Yeah,
company.
fucking Coke.
So
Dasani too. That's why I don't like Dasani water because I feel like it just keeps you getting thirsty because that's the Coke. Like we
so
don't want to
so
cure thirst.
right, but I think my point remains the same
It
where
does,
all of a sudden all of these other companies own all these other companies. Now I'm a financial guy, right?
right?
I didn't know Coca-Cola owned Monster when I bought Coca-Cola. I bought Coca-Cola because I was in Hot Topic and they had the logo that's like a diamond logo and it's the cutest little polar bear thing ever and it's the most adorable Pop Funko ever. And I'm like, "Oh man, I love this shit." And then I bought Coca-Cola stock and it's done really well for me and it's just a core company for me. They're not going out of business. They are a great company. Whether you like Coca-Cola or you don't, it doesn't matter. It's the idea that they're a great company, but they own a fuck ton of shit. They're going to be
Right.
buying Monster in 4 to 5 years. Monster's a $46 billion company,
Well,
market
it's
share wise.
who does is Frito Lay's does they don't go any further than being Frito Lay, do they? The
No,
chip company.
aren't they owned by like Yum Brands or Pepsi or something? Like
I
Pepsi owns a bunch of shit too.
I think they that's what I'm saying. I'm not for sure where, but I think they go a step further because I know Frito Lay's owns almost every fucking good chip you buy.
Oh man, we gotta look this shit up. We're looking this shit up
All
now
right,
because
look it
it's
up, man, because it
Frito Lay.
goes. I think it goes at least one step further.
Let's see. Let's see what they own. So Frito Lay's is a subsidiary of Pepsi. Co.
Bitch.
There we go. It doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah, you should
I
really.
mean,
I mean, really and truly, it gets down. I mean, I own some Campbell's soup stock because I mean, I don't see Campbell's soup going anywhere, even with the canning issue and all that shit. I hope the stock goes down further. I'm gonna buy even more of that shit.
so
But
so
Coke,
so just to put this in position, I mean Pepsi Cola owns everything. It's insane what they own, and it is ludicrous
are
what
they
they
bigger
own.
than Coke now? Maybe not soda brand wise, but like in money wise.
We could look that up right now.
Please,
Look that
sir, look it up. You're better at looking shit up than me, man.
Pepsi.
That's a
I'm looking
good
up
question.
Pepsi stock. I'm looking at. I don't know as far as free cash, but Pepsi Cola's market cap is 230.69 bill.
All right.
239, and then I'm looking at Coca Cola's stock. PepsiCo, Coca Cola, Coca Cola's. No, no, not Coca Cola. not Coco, Coca. I'm looking at it. Give me one
Cocaine.
second. Yeah, so Coca-Cola's market share is 268.32 billion. Pepsi is about 30 billion smaller than Coca-Cola.
Okay. Well, I mean,
But it's not a big deal in reality.
yeah,
We're talking pennies at that point.
yeah. That means Pepsi slowly. I think. I don't think Pepsi will ever overtake Coke when it comes to being a
I
soft drink. But I think maybe Pepsi can overtake Coke when it comes to buying shit up.
I mean, look, Coca-Cola's buying Monster. Monster
Yeah,
just acquired a bunch of beer companies. I mean,
yeah,
they just acquired about 10 independent breweries. And the whole thing that's going on, and I'm not a financial advisor, but it's not that hard to figure this one out, is that conglomerates are coming. And so, you know what is I own Coca-Cola for a lot of reasons. It's a good conglomerate. Look at Microsoft. They bought Activision
yeah.
for 68.9 billion is what it's going to look like. Now I have Activision stock. I have a decent amount of it. And I'm not happy about the deal, not because I'm not making money. I'm actually thrilled about it. I'm making really good money on it.
Right.
Because I bought Activision at like $33. I'm going to be cashing out at 95 per share. That's
Fuck.
a great rate of return per share.
That's great. Yeah.
But I have a problem. And the problem is that where do I put that money? And probably the day I clear, it's going right into Microsoft because Microsoft buys companies. It's a
Right.
no-brainer. And
And
I'm
it kind
smart.
of is.
I'm
It
smart.
it really is, man. And I mean, and you're right, dude. Don't you remember like when it just seems like monopolies are no longer an issue. Like
AT&T.
I know, and that's the worst part. Like everyone talks shit about AT&T, like, oh, they're terrible, their products suck, but AT&T owns a shit ton of stuff.
They're having a spin-off with Warner Brothers Discovery. And I mean, it's 0.24 shares for every AT&T share you own that you're getting
Right,
in the new company, but you still get to keep your AT&T shit. Now, I don't know what I'm doing financially with that spin-off company because I think that spin-off company is a huge ass liability because they're going to own $53 billion worth of debt essentially to AT&T. So
right,
AT&T, it's good. I'm keeping my AT&T shares, even though my dividends getting cut in that realm because I'm a dividend investor and I look at
right,
conglomerates because I want a fucking piece of everything, and I'm smart because the way I'm going to become wealthy is by being a good investor. The saying is invest or die broke.
right,
And so I'm smart enough where Coca-Cola is not going out of business. They're gonna be buying Monster, which means they're gonna be buying every asset of Monster and all those brewery companies. And Coca-Cola is gonna have a bunch of independent beer companies and a fucking energy drink division that is gonna slay dragons. You know, Pepsi has a bunch of subsidiaries. You cannot beat these companies. So you
right,
just have to figure out, hey, how do I get enough cash to buy enough stake in them that I make a good amount of money, and then they provide dividends. Coca-Cola provides a good dividend. It's $1.68 dividend per share per year, and that's every quarter. And they've
right,
just increased their dividend. So they've increased their dividend by like four by 2 cents every single quarter. So they had a 40 cents dividend, and now it's a 42 cents dividend. You say, oh,
right.
2 cents, Andrew. Oh, it's not a big deal. Well, if you're investing for 40 years,
Yeah,
2 cents adds fucking up. And then it gets reinvested into it, which then buys you more shares, and then they raise the dividend again and again and again. I have companies that have had what is called a stock split. So it split,
yeah,
it was $120 split to 60/60, and their dividend was 60 cents or was $1.20. That became 60 and 60. What did the company do? They raised their dividend by 20 cents per share. Now it's 80 cents a sh- the dividend. So that means that,
yeah.
technically my shares that I bought from the stock split have gone up by 40 cents in a dividend.
But it's only 40 cents, Andrew. What are you gonna do with 40 cents?
But all of a sudden, I have more shares. Then they raise it up to $1. That dividend about
Right,
6 months later. So now I have more shares, and the dividend has increased by 80 cents. Then they raise it to $1.20. They raise it to $1.30. It's now at $1.60, and all of a sudden, they've exceeded their original dividend by 40 cents, but they had a
Right.
stock split, and then they have what is called a special dividend every once in a while to return capital to shareholders. So they
Right.
just had a special dividend that was $2 per share
And,
to every single shareholder.
and real quick, I don't want to get too far into your financials, but 40, you get, say you're talking about getting 40 cents per share. You own more than like a lot of people only own, like, say, at some people only own like, if even one share of some stocks. So they see the 40 cents and just see that 40 cents. But I assume you own multiple shares of these stocks and it just,
So some things I only own like 4 or 5 shares of, but I'm adding a new share every I'm slowly getting into the
right,
game. So I'm not a financial advisor, but what I say sometimes you just have to buy one share at a time.
right,
And if it because I'm a long-term investor by definition. So it doesn't matter that it's 40 cents today because that
right.
40 cents gets deployed. And I'm not going too much into my financials. I'm just explaining a dividend tree essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but all of a sudden I've bought 4 shares here, 4 shares here, 4 shares here. Fast forward 5 years, I now have 50 shares of a company.
Right.
I'm gonna drop this real quick. I have 700 shares of AT&T.
Yeah,
That dividend, but this took me like 6 years to build. I
right,
didn't just be like, 700, I'm in, guys. No, no, I bought 20 shares here. I bought 5 shares here. I got a little money
right,
from Christmas, bought 3 shares there. I got birthday money, I bought a share. And people are
right,
like, "Oh man, how come you don't go on vacation, Andrew?" Because I've slowly invested and I've had people that aren't my friends, but say, "I went to London." I'm like, "You spent 2 grand in London or you spend 4 grand in London, I put money into my Roth IRA.
right,
That money is now in a different entity. And so I haven't gone on vacation. The last vacation I went on was at a libertarian event where every night I got completely drunk for free, which was awesome because that's a requirement to be a libertarian is you have to learn how to drink.
right,
Um, but it was great. But my entire vacation was paid for, and it was a learning experience where we
right.
fit an entire college course into a week, but there's no test. It was awesome just to be lectured to think about ideas. And then every night all my meals were included for free.
Right.
All of and then the alcohol, they had parties, we had like candy and chips and all this stuff, and all that stuff was for free. And then a bunch of beer was for free too. And so I
Right.
had a lot of beers that week. I had like 35.
Well, I think the moral of your financial story at the moment is pennies turn into dollars. Whether it's 2 cents, 40 cents, or the 80 cents, the pennies turn into dollars. And if you buy through dips and if you just keep kind of accumulating slowly over time, you can build a portfolio that looks pretty nice.
And also I'll say this. Sometimes you need to say, "Hey, look, I'm gonna give a story. So my parents, my father at the very least, his parents were lived dirt poor and made sure every penny went to their 2 kids. So my grandparents did that, and they sent both my dad and his brother to college and then to law school. And they
Hmm.
didn't have a lot of money, but they said we want our children to have a better life.
Right.
My father's an attorney, his brother's an attorney. And because of that, I understand the lineage that my grandparents on my paternal side broke the cycle with my father.
Hmm.
And so my father got a good education and got out of being, you know, lower middle class at best into
Right.
being high middle class and even possibly upper echelon. And as a result of that, I understand that I have a better life, but that I have to continue this cycle in a lot
Hmm.
of ways, not to break the cycle, but to continue a righteous path. So you might say, look, and if somebody's listening to this, and I'm going to be very honest, I say, look, I got a kid, he's 5 years old. I got to save every goddamn penny and I got to invest so that maybe he inherits $1 million and then he figures out, and maybe I don't get the Lambo, but my kid gets the Lambo and my
Right.
grandkids get the Lambo. Or maybe they don't get a Lambo, but they understand and they're now at a poverty driven situation,
Right.
and somebody has to break that cycle. And it's a problem in this country where people don't want to be, selflessness is the
Right.
word. And I understand that. And I'm not saying it's fun and it's not easy to say, I'm going to make a decision for my future lineage at the cost of my enjoyment.
Right.
And I forego a lot of pleasure in my life with when I invest because I am making sure that I am going to have a better life when I'm 40 and I'm going to be financially free so that I could basically say fuck you to anybody I want to say. And I could do that right now on my
Right.
show and in a lot of ways. And I have a lot of freedom because I am not reliant on other economics, you know. And it's the reason why I can choose what sponsorships I want and all that, because if I really want to, I can fund my entire project with my podcast off of dividends if I wanted to.
Right.
But I have sponsors, so I don't need to do that at the moment.
Right.
But that's where I'm at. And I think that's something that people need to understand is that once you become financially and pennies turn into dollars, it might take 20 years. But if you start when you're 20, by the time you're 40, you're going to have the power of fuck you. And that changes the way you operate.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a financial guy, but there's going to be a point where my dividends, I'm not going to reinvest them. They're going to make me an additional 4, 5, 6 mortgage payments, and they're going to pay my house off faster.
Hey man, we're just two buddies talking. Don't worry, nobody's fucking listening to us, man. This shit, you think it's going out live? No, this is all personal time, dude. But
But
real quick, I do want to
yeah.
talk some comics with you. I
Oh
do.
boy, can I show? Can I show my,
Yeah,
my,
let's
my
see some
fun stuff?
comics, man. I want to see what comics we're working with and what we have.
We got a John Cena signed comic book.
So it's a John Cena signed and it's a John Cena legit comic with the one they made from WWFE whatever.
It's an official product.
All right, can you bring it closer? I can't see it. No,
So,
I'm
so, so,
joking.
so
I could see it. I was
that,
just
that
fucking with
that that's the whole thing, and that's the barcode. So, this is a personal book.
you. What was the grading on that bad boy?
It's a 9.8.
Nice, nice. What does it's a personal book. What is a book like that? Just worth like
I bought two of them and 9.8s, and I sold one of them for about 240.
nice.
So I bought it for 120. I sold one for 240.
Uh,
It's probably worth more.
yeah,
But I realized that I was making good money on it. I was making good profit on it, so I didn't really
right.
care because sometimes you got to realize that you got to make exits. This is a cool book. It's Captain Marvel. So
Nice.
this is a cool book. It's done by a guy named J. Scott Campbell. It's signed. And what's cool about this book is that there's 3,000 of them. This book glows in the dark. It's signed by J. Scott Campbell, and it's signed by Sabine Rich on the cover.
Nice, man.
It's printed with 2149 of 3,000. Um, and what's cool about this one is that it has this label on it. So this is cost an extra $10, and obviously this is Captain Marvel on the label. And I only have one of these labels, so this is a cool book to have. And
Nice.
yeah, it's a fun book, and I don't leave it out in the sunlight, but if I did, it would glow in the dark. So that's cool right there.
I don't leave it
Um,
out in the sunlight, but if I did, yeah, that's kind of a catch-22 when they give you something that has to kind of ruin your comic just a tad bit to make it happen.
but it's 3,000. That's why I bought it because it's limited. This one right here.
Right.
This is Batman Rebirth. It's signed and sketched by David Finch,
Fuck
and
yeah.
signed and sketched by Tom King. Now, I'll be the first to say that this is the sketch right here. That's called A Little Stinger.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just wanted Dave Finch to sign it, and he did that for free, which is cool.
Nice, dude.
So it took him 3 minutes, and his handler knew not to interfere. I didn't ask for it or anything like that. What was cool about it is that this probably adds about 15 to 20 bucks, that little sketch right there,
Right. No,
because
it does.
I'm going to show another book in a second here that you're going to see why this adds money to it. But it's a cool book, and I thought this was like a 9.2. Turned out as a 9.6. So very,
Nice.
very, very cool in
Now,
that
is that
realm.
a personal book or is that
Eventually, I'll sell it, but for right now, I'm not really touching it because it's just one of
right?
those things where I don't need to move this book at the moment, and I really don't care. I'm moving a lot of raw books, so a book that
Right.
is not graded, it's just easier to do that. And I just had a bad experience with a graded comic book that got lost in the mail, so I'm probably going to ease up a little bit on those books per se.
Right. Right.
Um, then these are my favorite books.
Let's
So
see.
this is a full sketch.
Nice.
Now, this is what that book is based off of, the cover.
Oh fuck, dude. Where did you come? Is this something you stood in line to get, or just something you picked up?
This book, so I'll explain the story. So obviously the guy who
Right.
did this cover first.
Hmm.
And this cover is Firefighter Sexy Samantha. And I just came across it and I just bought this book off of previews. It was up on Midtown Comics, just bought it. I'm like, oh man, it's a great cover, right? It's a cool book. And so what wound up happening is that I picked this bad boy up and yeah, so that's how that happened. And then this guy, Elias Chazudis, did that book. And then I was at a con and he was gonna be there. And so I said, hey man, do Firefighter Sexy Samantha style. And I
Good.
just want the straps and her like that. And he's like, "Oh, I know exactly what you want." My mom was a little skeptical because she was a little nervous. $275 later, did this
Right.
bad boy on it, came back as a 9.8. It's got like 10,000 likes on Instagram, and people were talking about it at the con, like right in front of me. I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah, that's my book. No worries." Um,
Can I just comment real quick? The way you say firefighter sexy Samantha, I'm not for sure I've heard a more creepy thing. You're like, it's firefighter sexy Samantha.
I mean, it says it like right
I know,
there.
no,
Is
no, no,
that
no, I get it. Like, I feel like you need to be in front of like one of those big blue Yeti microphones. Firefighter sexy Samantha right here.
fire, sexy Samantha?
I
No,
don't,
it's
I've heard of both of those. That's a nice little find. I
and this right here is actually in a metal book that they did. And when I found out this was in a metal book, I was beyond ecstatic. So they made a metal version of this, and I have that book too. And this is my
nice.
one of my favorite books of all time
How
because it
much did
is
the metal go for? If you don't mind, how much did the metal like go for?
it's probably an $80 book, $70, $80 book. This
Yeah,
book didn't actually come out on the market raw for about 5 years. So this book
okay.
is from 10, 12. So this book didn't start appearing on eBay till like 2018, 19, because these
Fuck.
books don't leave the personal collections. And when I got this book back as a 9.0, I was super stoked. Again, this is a massively personal book, and the metal came in a what is known as almost like a loot crate box. That was
Right.
$100 with another book. So the metal goes for about 70. The other book it came with goes for about 80. So the loot crate box was $150. So if you were to sell both of those books, you're looking at like a $50, $60 profit.
Damn, man.
And I buy multiple books and I sell this shit and really cool book. And this book has a little partner called that's a police officer as well. So I need to pick up that book, the police officer version of it, and get that bad boy graded, done by
Right.
Elias Chazudis. And I'm trying to get him on the show. And he's a little bit shy, but yeah, there's actually a competition with Zenoscope, like show off your collection. So I'm putting both of these books right next to each other. Gonna take some cool pictures with it, and hopefully I'll win me some $50 to buy some more comics from Zenoscope.
Damn, man. That is fucking cool. I'm not jealous at all, dude. That's not I don't feel 13-year-old Keenan
So
like looking at me like what are you
just
doing with your
uh,
fucking life, bitch?
just to talk about this book. So this was all done by hand and Copic marker.
Nice.
So this is Copic marker, and I'm just like, and like you could see certain things like her eyes are blue, and like even this piece right here, there's a little hint of blue in it. I don't know if anybody can see it, but like
I can't really see that, but I believe you, man. I might be able to see it when I go through and edit and do that shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's just it's such like I can't draw, and for me it's just super cool and
Yeah,
it looks like it's printed on the book.
right,
Like it looks a certain way and it looks like that thing is a cover and I'm trying to get Zenoscope to be like, "Dude, can we get this as a cover?" And I'm going to
right.
say on two conditions. A, my artist needs to be paid for his work. Chazus needs to be paid for it. I want comps. I want like 2 or 3 free issues because it is my fucking work. I mean, I don't know exactly how it works because
Right.
this is the original and I don't know who owns it. And these are great questions. Is that can I say to Zanoscope and can I say to Elias Chazudis, I don't want this as a cover because I
Right.
did pay for it. I commissioned it. You know, But Zenoscope knows this cover. They like this cover. They're the ones who said, "Yo, I was at their booth at the comic. Like, did you see this cover, man?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's mine."
Yeah, it's mine.
I'm sorry, like, but it's a very cool thing when you have circumstances like that where, and I'm planning to do 4 more of them in
Right,
a similar
right,
style with different characters because I want to sell the entire thing and concept to Zenoscope. And be like, guys, this is like a fucking like everybody who I show this to who's a Zenoscope fan is like, this is the cover I want. No, it
right.
is not for sale.
Nope, you can't have it.
But yeah, that's kind of my thing. But I'll answer any questions you got about comics. So
Well,
I wanted to
I
show my collection off.
what I wanted to know, well, I guess since we're coming close, see, and we when we chit chat, man, we chit chat forever. My mom's like, it's 4:30 over here because you've been at it for a minute, Keenan. But what's your one big, whether it's financial idea or like what's your one big idea for 2022? What because again, it's just me and you. You don't. This is not financial advice, but it's just us, dude. Nobody's fucking watching anything.
So what I want to do this year is I want to create the comic book investing system class.
Right,
And it's 22 and a half hours, give or take, of going through things like research and understanding comics and variants and providing a really, really solid education and
right,
actually going on a skill level and not buy this book, buy that book. And so
right,
I'm going through the entire research component and information component to budgeting and what type of budgets and how you build a budget, how do you cash flow a budget, and just briefly, I'll give comic shop budget, eBay budget, spec budget,
Hey,
con budget,
that's a great class, man. Because someone like
and
me, I enjoy comics, but I can really like,
And so, just to even go further, obviously dealing with grading and CGC and giving a
yeah,
crash course on that, and then also give exit strategies because how do you unload all this stuff?
mhm,
Because it's great that you invest in something, but if you can't sell it, it's not really an investment. You
right,
know, if this book, just to use this as an example, and this is not what it is, but if this book was worth $1 million, but I had nobody to buy it for me from $1 million, or even for 900,000, is it really worth that much money? The answer is not
right,
really. So, understanding how to unload things and sell things is very important. Understanding exit strategies and parameters and even how eBay works and other sites works. And so that's the whole theory behind what I want to build. And I want to build a bigger company out of it because then
well,
you get to go into other components such as, CGC grading or complete liquidation because obviously I'm 29, you're a little bit older than me, but
fuck
there are
you. No, I'm joking.
It's all right. It's all right. If you
Fuck
want to
you,
fuck,
man.
no,
Help
no,
me
no.
out there.
That's a privilege. That's a privilege to fuck me. Um,
Not if I take it, you little bitch. No, I'm joking.
hey, 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 hey.
We're going
Last
up the Jeep in.
last time we were in prison, it
All
only
right,
happened once. It
me,
stays
you,
in
and
prison.
Pat.
But one of the things that I want to build outside of this is that, and it's unfortunate that sometimes a kid's dad passes away and the dad loved comic books and he has books from the 60s and the 70s and those books are worth
Mhm,
money. The son or the daughter knows they're worth money, but they're not into that stuff. They're into
right,
something else, or they just might be into stocks, for instance, and they know it's worth money, but they don't want to get swindled. And so I
right,
want to build out a component after a secondary class that deals with this and says, okay, complete liquidation, meaning
right,
that you don't mind taking only 70 cents on the dollar, but you're not looking to have to take 20 or 30 cents on the dollar.
right,
Or even you'll take 60 cents on the dollar because if you have a book that's worth 2 grand and you want to just get rid of it and take 1400, it's not a bad rate of return if your dad bought
right.
it for $2 back in the day. And
Mhm,
so that's the thing what I think is going to be another moneymaker because then you have more components and you're solving problems. And
right,
that's the whole thing of what I'm trying to do here is that people want to get into comic book investing, but people also say, look, I don't give a fuck about building out and finding books, but I came into a bunch of them because of my parent. And for $200, you're going to give me a basic education that's going to at least save me, make
right.
me another 20 cents on the dollar. And so that's kind of where I'm at. and I'm slowly building it out, but it does take time. And whether it happens this year or not, I'm not too sure because I got a lot of things percolating right now.
Right.
So, but that's kind of where I'm going. But
Will your class, like, cause say someone like me that's I'm interested in investing in comics and buying, but um, it's very iffy to buy comics that aren't already graded. And if you want, I my at least what I know about investing is you want to buy low and sell high. So something that's already graded, like you want to find that diamond in the rough that's probably not already graded and needs to be done. So will your class show us how to
oh yeah,
find out how how to find those?
all of this is yeah. Typically it works on both ends,
Right,
and I'm going to give you understanding of research and even where to find things and where to go, and also what to look for. How to assess a comic book.
right,
That's a big thing. So I'm not going to particularly per se lead you say, hey, go to this site, you're going to find all the diamonds in the rough, but I'm going to
right,
teach you how to assess a comic book. I'm going to explain why this book is worth the money that I paid for it.
right,
And to briefly go through this, it's the artist. It's got this little thing on there, this here. It glows in the dark, and there's 3,000 copies of it. That affects value, and
right,
that's very important. And that's a whole module is how to assess value and
right,
what makes something valuable, which is not telling you particularly saying this comic shop has the best deals in the world. But now you look at a book and you look at what's going on. You say, okay, there's
right,
250 copies of said book. What's going on with this and what's value. And now I understand. And okay, I can make a more educated decision on investing. It's kind of
right,
like if you say, Andrew, I right now I got this phone, right? We all know this is an iPhone. I think it's an iPhone like 10.
right,
So now, or it's actually, I think it's an iPhone 11 maybe at this point. I'm not sure. But
right,
if I say this iPhone I'm selling to you for $20,000, you might say, okay, I get the iPhone is X, but what do you have in this iPhone that makes
right,
it worth it? And if all of a sudden I have Bill Gates' phone number on speed dial, well, yeah, you might say, oh, well, maybe that's not such a bad deal. That
right,
that changes the value train with it. So that's the type of stuff I'm teaching, where I'm not teaching you what books to buy because that doesn't help anybody in reality. And I'm also pissed off because there's all these people who do top 10 lists every single week. And I'm like, that's great. But when you publish that list, the value of that list changes because
right.
you've introduced an external factor into the thing where before there was no external factor.
Well,
Now you've given information that changes what you published by
right.
nature.
Yeah, well, forget the class, man. I think you should just come up with an app that just finds me what to buy. Like you just say like forget all the fucking class. You're like here, this is the book to buy right here. You can buy it here for this amount of money. Here you go. So you figure that out, man. I'm sold, dude. I'm sold.
See, but I can only charge so much for an app, right? That's the problem. I could
You
charge
can
a
get
lot
that
more
monthly
for a class.
subscription. Like okay, yeah, you get all this for the monthly subscription is the way to go. You know how many monthly subscriptions I pay for that I just forget I even have.
Yeah, see,
Like,
I'm not a monthly subscription guy.
see
I
that
would I would rather charge like 500 bucks right off the top because I want the money now. I don't want the $10 every single month because because it's a one-time class, right?
right,
So for me, I'm willing to charge like 200, $250, and then you take the class and then you're done. You have access to it for life. But my goal is to find new customers
right,
and then run through that thing for as long as humanly possible, and then maybe you keep the class and you have 3-year access to it for two
right.
hundred
There you
fifty
go.
dollars, and then
Yeah,
all of a sudden, if somebody says, "Hey, I want it for another year," I'll probably just give it to them because it doesn't matter. But that'll cover me in case I want to shut it down at some point
right.
because I got all the money out of what I wanted. But I think I'm gonna make bank on this shit. I think I'm gonna make a mill
You're gonna
easy.
make a million. I just save me a space in the class for free, dude. I mean, that's all.
Yeah, I'm gonna be having a bunch of beta testers and
Hey,
stuff.
everyone that's listening, he's gonna charge y'all as much as he possibly can, so I can watch
No,
this. I can do this shit for no, so I can get it for free.
I'm
I'm.
not trying to rip anybody off. I think 200 bucks. If I'm going for
Damn it.
22 and a half
Damn.
hours, you know, I'm 200, $250. I mean,
Okay.
that is beyond reasonable. That is
I
below minimum wage.
I would be willing for you to charge a reasonable price for it, and me just get like half off or something. If that's what I have to do. Okay, all right. I'd be willing for you to
No,
charge a reasonable
I'll send
price.
you in for free.
I'm fucking with you, man. I'm fucking with
I'll
you.
put
But
you in
nah,
for
that sounds.
free.
I like what you
But
do, man. I
but
like
but I do wanna clarify something in which that I am not trying to be one of these gurus out there that charges $1,500 for the class or 1,000 for the class. I'm like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" Like, I
right.
get it that you have knowledge, but 1,000 fucking bucks? Who the fuck has $1,000? I don't have $1,000 sitting
Not
around.
to waste in that class, man. I do the TikTok and YouTube, and there's a guy on YouTube that kind of broken the code, and I watch his shit. But then he's like, "Oh, just buy my class for this and this amount of money," and I was like holding off. But then over Christmas break, I got this text like, "Oh, get my class for like 60% off." So I was like, "Yeah, I'll buy it." Then my TikTok got banned, and so I had to change all my information to him. And then he just like because of the Christmas holiday, just like my time frame went off, and now it's like, hey, bro, like I like what you do, but fuck, man, it's still fucking $60, dude. But I'm not putting his name out there because I don't want to. Just like you wouldn't talk shit about your company,
It's the idea that, if somebody's charging me $150 for a class, it's different than if you're charging me 1,000. You
right?
know, I think 150 bucks if especially because it's the idea that I'm trying to hit the masses, right? So somebody might drop 200 bucks and think about it, but they're not going to overly think about it.
Right,
$1,000, 1,500, 2 grand, 5 grand, that's a
right.
fuck ton of money.
It
And
is a
it's,
lot of money unless you're fucking, and even if you're a proven commodity, it's still a shit ton of money.
I mean,
Like even if you're already proven like track record of like, oh shit, I help people do this and make money and become this.
I could tell you for a fact that on 5 grand, if I need help with a business, I was like, my cousin's gonna help you with your business. You know what I'm gonna do with 5 grand instead of paying somebody? I'm gonna go on Upwork, hire somebody who says, I've helped legitimately 300 clients. I have a 5-star rating, and you need help with Facebook ads. My cost is 200 for the thing, and I'm gonna run you some Facebook ads. So my cost is that it's gonna be a 4 hour thing. It's gonna cost just 600 bucks for my 4 hours plus ad costs. I'm gonna
Right,
probably wind up at $1,100 and get a better result than whatever that class was teaching me. It
right,
because when I need to run my next Kickstarter, I'm gonna go on Upwork. I'm gonna say, look, who here has run successful ads on Kickstarters that actually convert? And I'm going to just type that in and I say, well, what are your costs? What is your business cost? And then plus ad costs.
it's
And let
worth
them
it, dude.
build, because that's a business decision. I'm not going to go fucking take a class on this shit.
Well, man, it's the convenience fee, like we talked about earlier. Like you pay for convenience, and unfortunately,
No,
just
I'm
like
not. It's not even paying for convenience. And I hate to correct you. It's paying for
oh, it's good.
expertise.
Right? No, no, no. All right.
The whole point of what I pay for StreamYard's convenience. When I'm going to buy ads and get an expert, I'm like, dude, you're an expert in this, you handle it because I'm gonna fuck it
Right.
up and I don't got time. I just did a consulting thing for about 50 bucks. I'm an expert in podcasting and especially when somebody's just starting out. I am
No.
very good at that and I have a lot of knowledge. Somebody paid me as an expert because I helped set up their shit. And
Right.
that's why somebody paid me because they understand. I know every little detail about how to create a podcast so that when you first start out, you're not fucking it up and you get your 90 days of fucking honeymoon period and you get the most out of it. And then I know how to build your show's structure.
I need to pay you to fix the structure of my shit. No shit talking. Well, man, I'm for real. I need to pay you the $50 to get this podcasting shit on point. But unfortunately, I have to end this
Yeah.
interview with you. I have to let it go. My mom's like, I have
It's
your
me. It's
son.
not you.
I have your son, and I'm ready to fucking go home. That's what my mom's saying. It doesn't change. Mommies always treat you like a fucking child, no matter what you're doing. But yeah, dude, I definitely want to talk to you again sometime. I appreciate it. This has been Andrew Mecca Davis, Davis, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Andrew
I keep
Mecca
wanting to call
Davis.
you Davies and shit. I'm like, it's not Davies, you dumb fuck. It's Davis. I just want to change people's names. I don't know why. I don't know
It's
why.
all good. It's all
All right,
good.
man. Well, I appreciate you so much, man. This was another great interview. For once, we got a complete interview without, a screaming child or dogs and shit. Like there were not too many interruptions this time, man.
Yeah, yeah, my princess of a dog was maybe 10 minutes at most.
Yeah, she wasn't that bad, dude. We'll let her slide on that. We'll let her slide. Well, again, I appreciate you and everybody that's watching us. This has been chatting out. I won't do the song again. I'll have my guy finish the song some point this week. Before I put your episode out, I think the song will be completed.
It's all good with me. I'm
All
just
right,
happy to be
man.
on anybody's show.
Hey, dude. Anytime I love chit chatting with you, man. And you showed up on my Saturday Night Loser show when I decided like, hey, I'm not doing shit tonight. Who else is not doing shit tonight? All right, man. Well, it's good to talk to you, Andrew, and we'll talk to you again soon, man.
Awesome. I look forward to it.
All right, man. Cool.
Peace.
Oh, wait, before you go, well, actually, I'll get all your links and shit. But is there anything you want to promote or anything you want to say before you get off, or?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Just Pop Anime Comics. Anything Pop Anime Comics is usually mine. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I do live interviews usually on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock and at 9 o'clock, and on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock. And that's all
Motherfucker.
free, so you can just watch that, chime in, and I can't promise that you'll learn anything, but you will be entertained.
Well,
I
I
am
just I
positive on
just
that.
found out that we're in direct competition on Tuesdays because I do my Nerdin' Out podcast on Tuesdays, and it goes out. I do live stream around then, and I guess you're taking away all my fucking audience. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I'm actually trying. I'm thinking about moving it more to like the noon type 2 o'clock area, just because
So,
it
so,
seems
so
like more of
I'm
us
I'm at
old
7 and
fucks are
9.
on
I'm at 7 and 9, and you can come check me out live or on replay. Either or, I'm fine with it
replay,
because
not live. No, I'm
that
joking.
that works too.
Nah.
But any
Uh,
Pop Anime Comics, you type it in, you'll find me. And
All right, man. I'm gonna be sure to send me all those links in my on the messenger, dude, and I'll add it to the shit. All right, this has been Andrew Mecca Davis on Chatting Out with Keenan and Cal, and we'll see you next time, guys. Thanks again, Andrew.